He did not become a wealth guru because he was born rich. He became one because he was deeply confused by poverty. Robert Kiyosaki, From Broke Lessons to Rich Thinking. As a child growing up in Hawaii, Robert lived between two worlds, and this contrast would later define his entire philosophy about money. On one side was his biological father, a highly educated man, head of the Department of Education, with a PhD and a stable job. On the other side was his best friend's father, a businessman with little formal education but a sharp instinct for money and investing. Kiyosaki famously called them his poor dad and rich dad. That contradiction planted the question that would shape Kiyosaki's life. Why do some highly educated, hard-working people struggle financially, while others with less education build wealth? 1. The seed of a radical question. From an early age, Kiyosaki noticed something that most people never question. His poor dad believed in working hard, getting good grades, securing a safe job, and climbing the corporate ladder. His rich dad believed in learning how money works, owning assets, and making money work for him. Both men worked hard, but their results were dramatically different. Years later, this contrast would lead Kiyosaki to his most provocative statement. If hard work makes you rich, why are so many hard-working people still broke? It wasn't meant to insult effort. It was meant to expose a flawed belief system. 2. Failure before fame. Despite his doubts, Kiyosaki initially followed the conventional route. He joined the U.S. Marine Corps, served as a helicopter pilot during the Vietnam War, then moved into sales at Xerox, one of the most respected companies at the time. From the outside, it looked like success. Inside, he felt trapped. He realized he was earning money, but not building wealth. The paycheck lifestyle, earning, spending, repeating, felt like a loop with no exit. So he did what most people are afraid to do. He quit security to pursue learning. Not comfort, not status, learning. 3. The best teacher money ever gave him. Kiyosaki didn't become rich overnight. In fact, he failed hard. His first major business venture collapsed. He went bankrupt, lost money, lost confidence. But instead of retreating, he doubled down on understanding assets, cash flow, real estate, and leverage. He learned the lesson that would later define his teachings. Failure is part of financial education, but schools never teach you that. While most people avoid mistakes, Kiyosaki studied them. He discovered that wealthy individuals don't fear failure, they use it as feedback. And here's what made him different. He didn't ask, "Why am I unlucky?" He asked, "What am I missing?" 4. The missing subject. Financial intelligence. Kiyosaki discovered that most people are taught how to work for money, but not how money works. Schools prepare students to be employees, not investors. They teach academic intelligence, not financial intelligence. This insight became the backbone of his philosophy. 1. Income does not equal wealth. 2. Hard work without financial literacy can trap people in a cycle of earning and spending. 3. Wealth is built by assets, not salaries. This is why Kiyosaki often challenged traditional advice like get a stable job or work harder. In his view, working harder without upgrading your financial understanding is like running faster on the wrong road. 5. The birth of a wealth guru. When Rich Dad, Poor Dad was first published in 1997, major publishers rejected it. The ideas were too confrontational, too disruptive, too uncomfortable. But readers connected instantly. The book didn't promise quick riches. It questioned assumptions people had lived by for decades. It told readers that being broke wasn't always about laziness. Sometimes it was about conditioning. The book became a global phenomenon, translated into dozens of languages, and sold over 40 million copies worldwide. Kiyosaki was no longer just an entrepreneur. He had become a teacher of mindset. 6. Why his message resonates, especially after 50. As people age, many start realizing a painful truth. They worked hard for decades, yet financial freedom still feels far away. Kiyosaki's message hits hardest at midlife. When pensions feel uncertain, when job security feels fragile, and when time becomes more valuable than money. His philosophy speaks to this realization. It's not too late, but it's time to think differently. He reframed wealth as a long-term system, not a sprint. And he emphasized that changing financial outcomes starts with changing how we think about money. 7. Hard work isn't the enemy. Blind work is. Kiyosaki never said hard work is useless. He said hard work alone is not enough. Millions of people work tirelessly, employees, small business owners, and professionals, yet remain trapped because they trade time for money, avoid financial risk due to fear, and never learn how assets generate cash flow. Kiyosaki's core idea is simple but uncomfortable. Your income reflects your thinking more than your effort. 8. The real lesson behind. When Kiyosaki says, "If hard work makes you rich, how come you're still broke?" he is not mocking struggle. He is challenging people to upgrade their financial consciousness. His life proves that wealth isn't reserved for the smartest or hardest workers, but for those willing to question old beliefs, learn continuously, fail forward, and take responsibility for financial education. 9. From confusion to clarity. Robert Kiyosaki became a wealth guru not because he never failed, but because he never stopped asking uncomfortable questions. He learned that wealth is not about how much you earn, but how you think, what you own, and how you let money work for you. His life reminds us that sometimes the most powerful teacher isn't success, it's contradiction. And once you see that contradiction clearly, you can stop running harder and start running smarter. Curious for more insights on beyond half-century living? Let's meet again on our other videos.